If you were to go up to any person who reads books or looks like a history teacher on the street and ask them if they have read Dante's Divine Comedy, or at least the first part, Inferno, the answer would most likely be yes. Since Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy is a classical masterpiece and it has had a tremendous effect on media and culture in general. It has influenced many works of art and entertainment, ranging from movies like As Above So Below, paintings like Sandro Botticelli's illustrations of the Divine Comedy, music like A Symphony to Dante's Divine Comedy by Hungarian composer Franz Liszt, poems like 35 Years from the Turkish poet Cahit Sıtkı Tarancı, and finally video games like Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy IV, and Ultrakill. I want to focus on Ultrakill in this video. Ultrakill is obviously a game that has drawn a lot of inspiration from the Divine Comedy's first part, Inferno. It features many prominent figures that are also in Inferno, and the names of the chapters are just the names of the layers of hell from Dante's work. So let a teenager who has read Inferno and half of Purgatorio tell you what references to Inferno are in Ultrakill and where it differs from it. Let's start by talking about the enemies and the bosses of Ultrakill. The first mythology themed boss you fight in this game is of course Sword Machine. All hail Sword Machine. I'm kidding. It's Cerberus. Cerberus differs heavily from the Cerberus we see in Greek mythology. Even the game talks about this if you read the terminal entry of Cerberus. It says, although they do not resemble the mythological three-headed dog, this name was chosen due to their nature as protectors of hell. But why put Cerberus into a game set in hell? Well, it's because of Dante's Inferno. In Inferno, Cerberus is located on the third circle of hell, gluttony. Here, sinners are submerged in what is described as filthy mud, and they are torn apart by the three-headed dog, Cerberus. While I'm talking about gluttony, I should probably talk about the Archangel Gabriel. There are no angels in Inferno except for one. In Inferno, when Dante and Virgil try to enter the city of Dis, they see that the gate is guarded by fallen angels and Furies. Here, Virgil tries to talk to the fallen angels, but Furies attack him, and when all hope seems lost, an angel descends from the heavens, opens the gates of Dis, and scolds the fallen angels before disappearing. Yep, this is the only angel that makes an appearance in Dante's Inferno, so no Gabriels here. The Hideous Mass and V2 are both bosses from Ultrakill, so skipping them we have Judgment. Minos Prime is the boss closest to its appearance in Inferno. His design is heavily inspired from Gustave Doré's illustrations of Minos, which includes the crown. As for the snakes around his hands, well, in Inferno he actually has a snake tail, but close enough. The snakes are what Minos uses to tell the sinners what floor of hell they are condemned to for eternity. He does this by circling his tail around his body numerous times, the number of spins indicating which floor the sinner should go to. Aside from that, where Minos is the same in both Inferno and Ultrakill, that place being Lust or the beginning of hell proper in Inferno. What is not the same is the Ryan Gosling lighting and the whole story about Lust reform where Minos decides that love shouldn't be a sin and makes the Lust layer a utopia. That leaves us with one boss that kind of makes an appearance in Inferno, because Sisyphus and his insurrectionists aren't actually present in the story. However, it is clear that the myth of Sisyphus has influenced Inferno, since the punishment greedy people get is rolling a boulder with their chest for eternity. So the idea of putting Sisyphean insurrectionists into Ultrakill likely came from here, since they are also found in the greed layer of hell. Speaking of the layers, or the circles, let's talk about the layers of hell in Ultrakill. Starting with the Prelude, there are no references here except the gate after the Cerberus boss battle. It reads, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here," which is written on the entrance of Hell in Inferno. Like I've said, there is nothing more to say because there's no Prelude in Dante's Inferno. Limbo is surprisingly accurate. The only thing that shouldn't be here is the scenery, and besides that, the medieval architecture is correct. Since in Inferno, the souls in Limbo live eternally in a castle somewhat far away from the entrance of Lust. Limbo is pretty tame in the Divine Comedy too, since the only sins its inhabitants have committed is not getting baptized. Lust. I probably don't even need to speak because Lust in Inferno isn't a cyberpunk neon city. In fact, the Lust Circle in Ultrakill has zero similarities to the Lust Circle in Inferno, where souls are thrown from left to right by incredibly strong winds. Alright, pause for a second, because I have to say something here. I think it's actually better that these levels in Ultrakill aren't just copies of the Circles of Hell in Inferno. Hakita has done a phenomenal job making each layer unique, so this video is in no way a criticism of Ultrakill. Earlier in the video I said that gluttony in Dante's work was a place covered in mud described as filthy. Ultrakill's gluttony removes the mud and amplifies the filthy part, since the layer gluttony is just filthy flesh and organs, which actually works for gluttony because if I knew my insides would look like this after eating an enormous amount of food, hell, I'd stop eating. Next up are the circles in Act 2. Starting with greed, the only similarity here is that the Sisyphean insurrectionists are forced to roll boulders up a hill. In fact, the greed in Ultrakill resembles the third ring of the 7th circle of hell in Divine Comedy, the circle being violence and the ring being reserved for those who have committed acts of brutality against God, art, and nature. Here, souls are damned to wander around the flaming desert. Wrath is just a great swamp in Inferno. It is extremely deep too, with the most wrathful souls fighting for air on the top, and the least wrathful souls sinking to the deep. Just replace the swamp water with an ocean, and boom, you've got the wrath layer from Ultrakill. The final layer currently in the game is heresy, and while you might think that it isn't that accurate since it just looks like what a kid would imagine hell is like, it actually is, whether intentionally or not, since the city of Dis begins in heresy in Inferno, and well, the city of Dis is on fire, which would explain the blackened color scheme in Ultrakill's heresy, and the red sky. That is unfortunately currently it. I didn't cover bosses like Leviathan and the Ferryman because they weren't worth mentioning. I'll probably make a second part when Act 3 gets fully released, but it seems like we have a lot of time until that happens. So as of now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. Goodbye.